Well, at 38 days now and counting, this is the longest shutdown in history. With us now to kind of talk a little bit about where we're at is our 4th District Congressman Ron Estes. Congressman, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio with us this morning.
Well, it's great to be here this morning.
So, 38 days. I remember we had you on the show like week one, and we both were thinking it wouldn't last anywhere near this long. The Senate, I know, is queuing up another vote today. They've changed it a little bit. They've put in some promises. They've tweaked it a little. Where do you think we're at? Do you think there's any chance we'll have even I think it's only 4 or 5 Democrats necessary? You think maybe today's the day?
Yeah, I mean, the Democrats are continuing to filibuster and not fund the government. And I don't know. Like I said, I think they voted 15 times already to not fund the government. And today's going to be another vote for them. Senator Thune's trying to adjust the motion a little bit in terms of how to help to get this government open, because we're starting to see the real pain now that people are really suffering through that. People have gone weeks now without a paycheck. People, as of last Saturday, started losing the food stamp benefit that was out there for folks. And it's a shame. I don't see that the Democrats have ever come up with a plan for them to get out of it. And they, initially they wanted to push up and promote their rally protest, that their so-called No Kings rally, and they wanted to make sure it lasted through the election so that they could not lose enthusiasm and lose the elections in those Democrat states that had elections earlier this week. And so now they backed themselves into a corner, and they're not even talking about the same conversation. It's if you really wanted to have a debate about a difference in position on funding the government, your discussion should be how much money we should spend on this program, more or less. And what should be the ending date for the continuing resolution? Should it be November 21st or should it be January 21st? Instead, they're talking about a completely different thing, adding up $1.5 trillion in spending on wild programs that they really want to include.
I want to ask you about one thing. Your colleague, the only Democrat member of our Kansas delegation, Sharice Davids, has been very active on social media. I've seen her paid feed in my feed, and she's constantly calling for an end to the shutdown just to make sure she actually voted for the shutdown. I would think if she really wanted to end it, she could just make a call to some of her colleagues, correct?
Yeah, all of that conversation that she makes is very, very deceptive. That it really, she's trying to imply that she's concerned about the pain that she's inflicted on people. I mean, Sharice Davids voted to shut down the government and not fund the government. And she's not encouraged any of the Democrat senators to vote to fund the government. So, for her to be talking about how bad it is that the government's not funded, she should be voting for it, and she should be advocating that the Democrat senators stop their filibuster and vote for funding the government.
I know the Wichita Eagle wrote another piece recently where they attacked you for what they called misinformation, and I know I would look at this and say, well, it's the Wichita Eagle, but one of the things that they contend is this issue about health care for illegals. But isn't that one of the core functions in that $1.2 or $3 trillion? Aren't they actually wanting to fund health care for illegals in there? It
really is. I mean, in the counter proposal that the Democrats threw out
from
there.
Chuck Schumer, right?
From Chuck Schumer. I mean, you actually can look at it. I mean, go to page 57, as Speaker Johnson talked about over and over again, is you go to page 57 and the section number in there that talks about wanting to make sure that there aren't citizenship checks on funding the health care. And in addition to that, they have all these other provisions in there. They're taking money away from rural hospitals as part of their proposal. They're making sure that they're continuing some of their Green New Deal provisions and DEI, LGBTQ funding in other countries around the world, instead of let's focus on America and what we do to make sure to keep the government running.
Congressman Ron Estes is live in studio with us this morning here on KNSS. Congressman, what about these beleaguered air traffic controllers? This is hard on everybody, but it's really hard on them.
It really is. I mean, the federal employees that are deemed essential, and you talk about it, air traffic controllers, you talk about the TSA agents, you talk about our military and so many other the law enforcement folks, and this is the pain and suffering that they're working through and having to deal with. Our air traffic controllers they were already short in terms of having enough folks and so people were working overtime to help cover that. Now that they're not getting paid, it's tougher to do that, and just the stress of, and in some cases, people are out actually doing side jobs in order to make sure they can buy groceries to feed their family. And I know Secretary Duffy's now looked at, okay, let's reduce some of the flights to a 10% reduction in flights because of the demand on the number of air traffic controllers that we have and are able to be working every day. And so I know that's going to cause some disruptions in terms of flights, even out of Wichita, a couple of flights that'll be halted in the short term.
I know the last shutdown we had too, and this one, I know you were one of the first ones in line to say, I'm not having my pay until we get this thing solved. Some other members of the Kansas delegation, it took them a month to fall in line with you, so they need to get with it. Yeah. I'm glad you're on front on that issue.
It really is. It was somewhat disingenuous for some of the my Democrat colleagues in the House, and I don't think that many of the senators have done it at all. But to wait till the very last day, which was the 30th or the 29th of September or of October, to actually say, well, I want to be on record as requesting that I don't get pay. And my staff in my office in Wichita, my office in Washington D.C., they're not getting paid, and the senator staffers up there aren't getting paid either. Along with all the other federal employees, and so it's just one of those things that I thought was appropriate that. As a leader, you should be in the same situation that the folks that you're working with and are actually supporting the things you want to do.
Yeah, I got a text message from Roman Rodriguez the other day asking for money, and I sent him $5 via PayPal. So, Ron, I appreciate you. As I said when we started this conversation, we both were thinking a week to, we're getting close, not too long before we get into the Thanksgiving travel holiday. If this thing goes into that, I just can't imagine how the backlash on Democrats, because, again, how many times have Republicans voted to open the government? How many times have Democrats voted not to? Look, folks, if you've got frustration here, you know where to go. You know who to call. Start with Sharice and go down the line. If folks have questions, if they want to reach out, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Best way to reach out to me at the office is estes.house.gov, and that's the way to contact us, get on the newsletter, get updates on things, and I really don't want this to keep going on. The Democrats have backed themselves into a corner. I've seen some people talk about, well, they're going to wait till November 21st, and then the original continuing resolution date expires and something else will have to be done. Gives them a new leverage point.
21st, that's another 2 weeks. That's crazy.
It is. It's crazy for them to not have an exit strategy.
And all these people being held hostage.
Yeah. And they even talk about it. It's their leverage point.
Yeah,
and they're going to continue to talk about it that way.
Well, Congressman, thank you again for joining us. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for giving us your time.
All right. Thank you.